Dear students, from this video lecture we are going to start the different radio wave propagation models. As we discussed in last video lecture, there are two kinds of path losses are mainly observed with wireless signal, that is large scale path loss, and second one is the small scale path loss. And based on these two path losses, different radio wave propagation models are available for analysis. As we know, in case of large scale path loss, the strength of the radio wave get reduced as the increase in the distance between the transmitting station and the receiving station, and opposite to this, in case of small scale path loss problem or small scale fading effect, it is observed that rapid fluctuations in the radio wave due to the three different mechanisms that we discussed in last video lecture, that is reflection, scattering and diffraction. So due to these mechanisms, rapid fluctuations and the variations in the radio wave, and this will affect the information available with the radio channel. So based on these fading problems or path loss analysis, different propagation models are available. So this is about the small scale fading problem. As I said, due to the rapid fluctuations in the radio wave, the variations in the message signal, and this is nothing but small scale fading. And as I said, the main reason behind the small scale fading is the three different mechanisms, where the signal is the sum of many contributors coming from different directions. So different directions means the receiving antenna will receive the radio wave randomly from all directions due to the diffraction, scattering and reflections. And if suppose the reflected radio wave goes out of phase, then definitely you will observe the attenuation in the signal. Since the phases of these signals are random in nature, the sum behave like a noise, and this behavior of the radio signal is known as Rayleigh fading effect. So in case of small scale fading, the received signal power may change as much as 3 or 4 orders of magnitude, that is 30 dB to 40 dB. So in that particular range, you will observe the rapid fluctuations when the receiver is only moved a fraction of wavelength. That is, in a short duration of time, it is observed that rapid fluctuation in the radio wave or rapid fluctuation in the amplitude of the radio signal. So in this diagram we can able to see a transmitter with the antenna and receiving station with the antenna, and here D indicates the distance between the transmitter and receiver. And as I said, as the receiving station moves away from the transmitter station, the strength of the radio wave or the power of the signal get reduced. So as mobile moves away from the transmitter over a large distance, a local average received signal will gradually decrease. That is, the receiving antenna who is receiving the signal, its strength get reduced, and this is nothing but large scale path loss effect. So typically local average received power is computed by averaging the signal measurement over a measurement track of 5 lambda to 40 lambda. For example, for PCS, that is personal communication system, for indoor applications, the measurement track is in the range of 1 meter to 10 meter. And same strategy also observed in case of outdoor applications. So PCS is for indoor application. In the same way, for outdoor application, for example, radio signal broadcasting, mobile cellular network, where the coverage area is in the range of kilometers. So in case of PCS, the different power values after 1 meter, 2 meter, 10 meter, up to 10 meter, the average of all these powers will give the behavior of the radio wave, or it will give the information about the signal quality. In the same way, for outdoor application, the distance in the range of kilometers, as I said, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, up to 10 kilometer or 100 kilometer, depending on the application. So the model that predict the mean signal strength for an arbitrary TR, that is transmitter receiver separation distance, are called large scale propagation model. That is the model that will give the information about the signal quality or the strength of the radio wave kind of information with a specified TR separation distance is called the large scale propagation model. So it is useful for estimating the coverage area of the transmitter. That means after the installation of the transmitting station, just the analysis, just to analyze how much is the area get covered by that particular antenna. So for estimation point of view, the large scale propagation models for outdoor applications are helpful. So this is the response as we discussed in last video lecture, received power in dB versus TR separation distance. So here dark blue color line indicates large scale fading response, and the random wave or fluctuations are nothing but the small scale fading effect. So here it is observed that suppose the distance, travel distance, suppose 40 meter to 60 meter. So in that particular distance range, it is observed that the fluctuations in the range of approximately 38 dB to 40 to 43 dB power fluctuation. Now we will discuss the first propagation model, that is phase space propagation model. Now in this particular propagation model, obstructions are not considered. Simply the transmitting station and the receiving station with the antennas with the specific gain, and the analysis is done with the help of signal power, that is the strength of the radio wave goes on reducing as the receiving station will move away from the transmitting station. Okay, so in this figure we can able to see once again the transmitting station is there, okay, who is responsible to feed the electromagnetic signal to the antenna with the gain GT. Okay, so here feeder loss accounted with the antenna. Some losses are need to consider, connecting losses and the antenna losses are need to consider. Once again D indicates the distance between the transmitter and receiver. The right hand side receiver again with the feeder and antenna losses, and GR indicates the receiving antenna gain. So this particular free space propagation model is used to predict the received signal strength or power when the transmitter and receiver have a clear and unobstructed LOS path. That is, there is no any obstacles or obstructions in between the transmitting antenna and the receiving antenna, and if suppose they are having exact line of sight, okay, so at that time, so without considering the scattering effect or reflection or diffraction kind of effect, okay, so clear analysis. So the received power decays as a function of TR separation distance raised to some power. As I said, the receiver is moving away from the transmitting station, the receiver will receive minimum power, or the strength of the radio wave goes on reducing. So the path loss is nothing but signal attenuation as the positive quantity measured in dB and defined as difference between the effective transmitted power and the received power. So simply the signal attenuation is nothing but the path loss analysis is given in this free space propagation model. So free space power received by the receiving antenna separated from the radiating transmitter antenna by distance d is given by free space equation. So here in this equation we can able to see PR of D means received power for a given distance. Small d is nothing but the distance between the transmitting and receiving station. So received power at a given distance, that is PR of D, is equal to PT. So PT is the transmitter power, GT is the antenna gain or the transmitter antenna gain, GR is the receiver antenna gain, lambda is the wavelength in meters divided by 4 pi square d square into L. So D is the sample distance or the TR separation distance between the transmitter and receiver. L is the losses related to the hardware or the antenna. So L is the system loss factor not related to propagation, which is greater than or equal to 1. Not related to propagation means there is no any relation between the radio wave which are coming from the free space, okay, and the hardware which is available with the transmitter and receiver section. So L is equal to 1 indicates the no loss in the system hardware, okay, there is no any losses considered in the system. So for our purpose we will take L is equal to 1, okay, so we will ignore that particular term. So received power at a travel distance d is equal to PT GT GR lambda square divided by 4 pi square d square into L. Then the gain of the antenna G is related to its effective aperture area, which is given by G is equal to 4 pi effective aperture area divided by lambda square. So effective aperture area AE is related to the physical size of the antenna or design of the antenna, and depending on the type of the antenna, lambda is the carrier frequency, and as we know lambda is equal to C by F or is equal to 2 pi C by omega C, where F is the carrier frequency in hertz, omega C is the carrier frequency in radians per second, and C is the velocity speed of the light in meter per second. As we know, the an isotropic antenna or radiator is an ideal antenna that radiates power with unity gain uniformly in all directions. So it is an reference antenna in wireless system who is responsible to broadcast the radio waves in all directions with unity gain. So the effective isotropic radiated power, that is EIRP, we can write EIRP is equal to PT into GT, that is transmitted power into gain of the transmitter. So the antenna gains are given in units of dBi, that is dB gain with respect to isotropic antenna, or units of dBd, that is dB gain with respect to dipole antenna, that is half wave dipole antenna. So depending on the design or the application, different antennas are observed. So according to that, it is need to consider the gain factor. So as we know, in case of unity gain, G is equal to 1 or 0 dBi or 0 dBd. Okay. So the path loss, which represent signal attenuation as positive quantity measured in dB, is defined as the difference between the effective transmitted power and the received power. So we can write the path loss in dB. So PL indicates the path loss in dB is equal to 10 log transmitted power by the received power, or we can write it as 10 log by assuming the previous equation number 1 gain factors, that is transmitting antenna gain GT into GR lambda square divided by 4 pi square into D square, and L we assume it as loss factor, that is 1. So if suppose antenna with unity gain, okay, so in case of unity gain antenna, the terms GT and GR we can exclude. So we can write the path loss equation in dB, that is 10 log PT by PR equal to 10 log lambda square by 4 pi square D square simply. Now as far as the Friis equation, so Friis equation to hold, the distance D should be in far field of the transmitting antenna. The two main fields mainly observed, that is near field and far field. So according to the analysis of the radio wave, the receiving antenna are kept in the range of far field, not in the near field. Okay, so antennas are designed to transmit the radio wave or the message signal at long distance. So due to this reason, the receiving antennas are kept at far field, okay, with the separation distance, real separation distance D. So the far field or Fraunhofer region of the transmitting antenna is defined as the region beyond the far field distance dF given by, so dF is equal to Td square by lambda. So D is the largest physical dimension of the antenna. Additionally, we can write the Fraunhofer distance very greater than D, and also dF is very greater than lambda. Now, as I said, the analysis of the radio wave for the indoor application and outdoor application by assuming the sample distances. So, in case of indoor applications, the sample distance is in the range of meters, that is 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter up to 100 meters. But in case of outdoor applications, the sample distance, that is D0 sample distance, is in the range of kilometers, that is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, depending on the application. Okay, so now by assuming the reference distance D0, it is clear that equation 1 does not hold for D is equal to 0. So D is equal to 0 means the receiving station exactly near to the transmitting station. Okay, so that analysis is not suitable. So for this reason, models use close in distance, that is D0, as the receiver power reference point. Again, in this case, it is required to consider the sample distance D0, either you are assuming in the near field region or in the far field region. So usually the analysis is done by assuming or by considering the Fraunhofer distance. So usually in case of near field region, the rapid or electromagnetic variations are more. So usually in case of analysis of the radio wave, the Fraunhofer distance is need to consider. So D0 should be greater than or equal to df, that is Fraunhofer distance. D0 should be smaller than any practical distance as mobile system uses. So the received power, that is PR of D at a distance D greater than D0 from a transmitter is related to received power at D0, which is expressed as PR of D0. Now here the received power or averaging of the signal received power at distance D, in the same way the received power get estimated at the reference distance D0. So the power received in free space at distance greater than D0, we can write PR of D is equal to PR of D0 into D0 by D square, where D is greater than equal to D0 greater than equal to df, that is D0, that is the reference distance D0 is in between the TR separation distance D and the Fraunhofer distance. Now the previous expression we can write in dB milliwatt and dB watt. So PR of D in dBm is equal to 10 log PR of D0 by 0.001 watt plus 20 log D0 by D, where D is again D0 is in between D and df, and PR of D0 is in units of watts. Also we can write this expression in dB watt. So PR of D in dB watt is equal to 10 log PR of D0 by 1 watt plus 20 log D0 by D. Again the D0 is in between D and Fraunhofer distance, and PR of D0 is in units of watts. So as I said, the reference distance or sample distance d0 for practical system. So for the given frequencies in the range of 1 to 2 gigahertz, so the reference distance for indoor application is 1 meter, and for outdoor application, outdoor environmental applications, it may vary in between 100 meter to 1 kilometer. So for indoor analysis, the reference distance is assumed like 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, okay, where the maximum coverage area in meters only, that is up to 50 to 100 meters only. So at that time the reference distance is assumed in the range of 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter, like that. And in case of outdoor application, where the coverage area is in the range of kilometers, that is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 100 kilometers. So at that time the reference distance is assumed in kilometers. Now in this case 100 meter to 1 kilometer, if suppose the coverage area is about 1 kilometer, so in this case the reference distance in the range of meters, that is 100 meter, 200 meter, 300 meter, 400 meter up to 1 kilometer. So in this way, analysis of the signal strength by taking the power values. Now as far as the outdoor environment is concerned, outdoor application point of view, the measurement of the received power at 100 meter, 200 meter, 300 meter, 400 meter up to 1 kilometer, and just calculating the average power, we can check the behavior of the radio wave. We will see one simple numerical on this particular free space propagation model. Suppose a transmitter produces a 50 watt of power, that is the antenna with the power 50 watt, then you have to express the transmitted power in dB milliwatt, okay. Then transmitted power again you have to estimate in dB watt. And third, if suppose the reference distance d0 is 100 meter and the received power at that distance is 0.0035 milliwatt, that is at 100 meter, suppose you are getting the power 0.0035 milliwatt, then you have to find the received power at a distance of 10 kilometer. Means at 100 meter you are getting 0.0035 milliwatt of power, okay, reference distance. Then for new reference distance 10 kilometer you have to estimate, and here you have to assume the transmitter and receiver antenna with unity gain. So first, so as per the equation, the given term transmitted power in watt is 50 watt, then we can estimate or we can calculate transmitted power in dBm, that is 10 log Pt milliwatt divided by 1 milliwatt. So we can put this transmitted power which is given in watts, so 10 log 50 by 1000. So here we will get transmitted power in dB milliwatt is about 47 dBm. The same way in dB watt, so Pt dBW, that is transmitted power in dB watt, that is 10 log PT transmitted power in watts divided by 1 watt, that is 10 log 50. So here we will get 17 dB watt. And according to the equation that we discussed in free space propagation model, the received power at a distance d, we can write PR of d is equal to PR of d0 into d0 by d square. Then by putting the given values, so according to the numerical, d is given 10 kilometer, sample distance is 100 meter, so received power at 10 kilometer is equal to PR of 100 meter. So this is nothing but d0 into 100 meter divided by 10 kilometer bracket square. Okay. Then by solving the terms, we will get PR of 10 kilometer is equal to 3.5 into 10 raised to minus 10 watt. So PR of received power at 10 kilometer in dB milliwatt, that is 10 log this received power in watts, that is 3.5 into 10 raised to minus 10 watt divided by 1 milliwatt. Then by solving, we will get the received power at 10 kilometer in dB milli, that is 64.5 dB milliwatt. Now we will discuss about the channel design issues. So as I said, or as we discussed in last video lecture, so channel in wireless system is nothing but the specific carrier frequency or radio channel with the specific frequency. So in communication field, the engineers are generally concerned with the two main channel issues, that is radio channel issues. The first one is the link budget design. So this particular link budget design gives the fundamental quantities such as transmit power requirement, that is transmitting power requirement, coverage area, that is how much the area get covered by the particular radio wave, and the battery life. Also it is determined by the amount of received power that may be expected at a particular distance or location from a transmitter. So analysis of the power. So overall we can say that the link budget design is related to the transmitting power requirement, coverage area we are getting by selecting the transmitting power, and the battery life or battery backup system, and the analysis of the power at a particular distance, that is sample distance or TR separation distance. So it is observed that suppose one transmitting station designed, and after the installation of that particular transmitting station we are not getting the better performance because of the radio wave mechanism that we discussed. That means if suppose the transmitting station or the antennas are designed to cover 10 kilometer of distance, but practically if we measure the signal quality or signal power or strength of the signal at 10 kilometer, you will not get that particular response from that system. So practically we are not getting that particular 10 kilometer of the coverage area. So this is due to the losses due to the environmental issues or losses due to the diffraction, scattering or reflections. So link budget design is related to all these factors. And the second issue or a radio channel issue, that is time dispersion. So it arises because of multipath propagation where replicas of transmitted signal reach the receiver with different propagation delays due to the propagation mechanism that are described earlier. That means due to the diffraction, scattering and reflection, the antenna will receive the number of radio waves, okay, and this will cause the relay fading or a rapid fluctuation in the radio wave. So time dispersion nature of the channel determines the maximum data rate that may be transmitted without using equalization. The time dispersion nature of the radio channel determines the maximum data rate that may be transmitted without using equalization. So this particular time dispersion nature of the radio channel is helpful to transmit maximum data rate without using equalization. So most of the time, due to the rapid fluctuations in the radio wave, it is observed that variations in the frequency. So at that time, the equalizers are required to maintain the proper rise time and fall time of the radio wave. So this particular time dispersion is helpful to determine the maximum allowable data rate without using the equalizers.